Today, prepare to freeze your tush. Winter campers hang out literally in the winter woods.
Oh God, it's the best night's sleep you'll ever get.
Find out what happens when an artist shapes nature and adds a little bling. And we get wild in the kitchen, just in time for Christmas.
How's that? Perfect. Is that good?
Minnesota Bound. Brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show.
Up first, a story that will make you want to cozy up next to the fireplace while sitting on a warm couch.
Yeah, absolutely. Every year, a group of die-hard campers heads north to prove they can all hang no matter how low the temps drop. Well, we finally found the spot.
Well, we're in the middle of nowhere.
The literal end of the road, where people decide to hang it up.
I'm Frank. Frank, nice to meet you.
Jordan.
Jordan?
Yeah.
Every January,
Going to the frozen butt hang.
people pack into Sawbill Lake's remote campground.
You might have to be a little half-cocked to begin with. You gotta be a little crazy.
I might have to use a stick or something to push that up higher.
Started out as hammockers, people that like to go out in the woods in the wintertime and get their coldest, hang in a hammock.
Hang, that's tech talk for camping in a hammock.
Oh God, it's the best night's sleep you'll ever get.
I feel like we have the weakest beards here, and that's really kind of depressing. Do you guys have some beard tips?
Campers come from every nook and cranny.
Left about 4:30 from Racine.
Done by Saginaw, Michigan.
From northeast Kansas?
New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yep, Barry Garibaldi drove 22 hours straight north. Here's why.
Dude, this snow is just awesome. I don't know what to do with this stuff, but I feel like a 12-year-old.
Some people just sit in their hammock and read the whole time. They go out ice fish, snowshoe, cross-country, ski. We set up usually a fire or two, and people just a lot of sitting around and eating. A lot of eating going on.
Hammocks have really caught on. Campers say they can actually be quite warm. Some designed with cushy down insulation on top and on bottom.
I've been out as cold as -50, and that's cold.
Tonight's temp won't drop quite that low. Still, Thomas Ward hammers out a plan.
She's brand new.
This is really brand new.
His homemade tent covers his hammock.
Maiden voyage.
Inside, a wood stove heats the whole deal.
We all have kind of the same enjoyment of just hammock camping and being in the woods. Just a really good time out in the bush with good friends.
They come for the company, but stay for the sleep.
Right. It doesn't matter what's underneath you, whether it's rocks, snow, ice, water, you're above it all, nice and comfortable.
Just like that.
It's phenomenally warm. Very, very warm.
Ten hours later, Josh Paquette finds himself first one up and all alone.
People in hammocks like to stay in it as long as possible, which is pretty true because it's very warm, very cozy.
All this, a game most folks will never play.
Morning.
Coffee.
Woo! Just the typical reaction. Oh, you're nuts. We'll see you afterwards. Hopefully you don't die. Stuff like that. Nothing too crazy.
Oh, the day's not over yet. People crazy enough to cold camp get all kinds of ideas.
Here comes one of our main plungers. I secretly want my dad to do it. Who's going first?
If their butts weren't frozen before,
Yay, good job.
they act like their brains just might be. I guess that's the whole point.
Yeah, it's all in your attitude, positive mental attitude, and you can have a good time anywhere.
Coming up next, we have the perfect gift idea just in time for the holidays.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Minnesota Select GMC dealers, Rapala Ice Force, Star Bank, and by Chase on the Lake.
Welcome back to the show. The most cherished parts of hunting are the stories and memories we create from the experiences we share in the field. Now, not only can you share those memories, but you can wear them too. Passion for the outdoors is carried on by the stories we share. Such as the tale behind that 8-point buck hanging on the wall. Have you ever thought your story could be on your ring finger?
People come to us and see that we can use an antler in a ring, and I think that's what's so special about our rings.
We ask the hunters to send in their own antlers. They can wear that on their finger and they can have it as a conversation piece.
This unique jewelry started as an idea in a garage by a man who had a vision for art and nature.
One day I saw a pen that was made from antler. So I decided, why not, make a ring out of it. We made our first antler ring and it just took off.
Took off indeed.
Then we were probably doing 30, 40 a week, where now we're up to 200.
His eye and design for antler jewelry has spread around the globe.
We get antlers from all over the world, Australia, of course Canada a lot, New Zealand, the UK, many countries.
It perhaps an irony that hunters are sending their prized antlers to be scaled down. But maybe that's what has us spending hours chasing bucks. Every hunter knows it's the size of the memory that matters and not the antler.
So you can share that, you can bring that antler on the wall, you bring it out onto their finger, and it means a lot more to me than now everyone can see what you shot.
No worries if you're still waiting for your bull elk or 10-point buck. They've got you covered.
Because many people can't supply us with a thick enough antler to make a ring.
The antler piece should be about 1.5 by 1.5.
Or we can take theirs and crunch it up. Make smaller pieces and it's like small flakes.
Your time in a deer stand doesn't compare to the time required to create an antler ring.
This work takes a lot of your hours, 24/7. There's no time off. It's labor intensive. There's no machine that can just make it. You have to sit there and make it.
Sharing your trophy is one reason to cut up an antler, but another, sharing the love you have for each other.
His and hers is a big thing. She kills her own buck and he has his, and then we make them the rings. We try and tell them this is the way hunters say I do.
And as they say, a true love story never has an ending.
So we had a customer who had designed their own ring. His love of bow hunting was the inspiration for my arrow design. The arrow represents a parallel of our life. I'm so excited to present this timeless piece to my BFF. Thank you to those who put in many hours creating this piece for me.
Now your antler can ring in a daily reminder to follow your arrow to love and happiness.
Being able to make it into jewelry, it's kind of just makes it full circle. In a sense, like the ring, you can continue to carry that story.
Yes, the outdoors gives us lots of great stories. Now shared on your ring finger.
Coming up next, we get wild in the kitchen with the favorite Christmas recipe.
So good.
And later, hang on. Snow and cold mean windy winter fun.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Husqvarna.
Happy holidays from Wild in the Kitchen. I'm here with Chef Kevin Convulsum from Fire Lake Grill House and Cocktail Bar, and today we are taking a twist on the traditional Christmas meal, which is beef Wellington, but we're making what?
Venison Wellington.
Venison Wellington, that sounds so delicious. So what are the first steps to getting started here?
Well, first we're gonna make our mushroom duxelle. So this is kind of a puree of mushrooms with some little shallot in there and some fresh thyme.
Let's do it. All right, I have shallots and mushrooms.
All right, I'm gonna add a little extra virgin olive oil, add the shallots, and you can add the mushrooms.
What kind of mushrooms are we using?
Those are just button mushrooms.
And it looks like they're finely chopped.
Yeah, super finely. I actually use a food processor. Let's add the brandy.
Ooh, now you're talking.
So we're
How
gonna
much?
About a half a cup, give or take.
Give or take. We're gonna give. How's that?
Perfect.
Is that good?
Awesome.
There we go. Woo! What's that do? What kind of flavor does that provide?
The brandy itself?
Yes.
Deliciousness.
All right. How much cream do we have?
That is 3/4 of a cup.
A little fresh thyme?
Yep, you can add all that.
And how long do you want this to cook?
It's only gonna take a few minutes.
While that's cooking, should we prep our venison? You said the loin?
This is a loin, yep.
Could you use something else or really recommend this?
You could use a leg, but I would go for more tender parts. So we're just gonna sear the venison on all sides.
Just a crust on the edge and that's it?
Yep, we're just caramelizing the outside to create a little more flavor. And so when we slice through, we're gonna have that nice crust. So our mushrooms are looking great. Venison's seared on all sides. Time to assemble. We'll let that rest. Grab the prosciutto. So what we're gonna do is layer it just like it is on the plate there.
Okay.
So then we've got some mushrooms here. Spread it evenly on the prosciutto there. You can really smell that brandy coming through. So then we're gonna take the venison loin, just put it right in the center. And we're gonna start on one end and just kind of wrap up and over. Yeah, work your way down.
Both sides?
One side, and then we're gonna roll it to the front. Perfect.
Oh, I see what's happening here.
Yep, I'll show you a little trick here. It just helps get it uniformed. And then we're gonna go straight to the fridge.
For how many minutes?
I'd say about a half hour. We wanna just kind of firm it up a bit. Oh, great. We've rolled out the pastry dough. Perfect.
You have the venison cooled down?
Yep, all chilled. So kind of the same deal with classic. We're just gonna
roll it.
Yep, take both one side and put it up.
Ever so delicately.
Now from there, we're just gonna cut off a little bit of the excess. Yeah, just kind of pinch the ends there. I'm gonna seal that in. So I'm just gonna make some little diamonds.
These are almost like pastry Band-Aids, Chef.
So now we're just gonna egg wash it. That's gonna give it a nice golden, almost crunchy texture. So now we're just gonna go to a pan and throw it in the oven.
What do we have for sides today, Chef?
So we've got some baby carrots that are glazed with some fresh thyme, some fingerling potatoes, and this is broccolini.
Ooh.
So it's been about 20 minutes.
Do we want to take the temperature one more time?
Yeah, let's see where we're at. Remember, it's gonna carry over about 8 to 10 degrees.
So we want it to be at 130?
Yep, that's what we're going for today.
Good.
Perfect. So we gave this about 5 minutes to rest. Now it's time to slice.
Looks pretty amazing to me.
Yeah.
Remember, it's not about what's underneath your tree, but who is around it and around your dinner table. Going in for a bite, Chef. So good.
Welcome to winter camp. You know, hauling stuff into remote spots during the winter means weight on your back and in your pulk sled. Being compact and being light is everything in this game. Believe it or not, this is pretty much all the food we have for 3 guys for 3 days, and it's a ton of food. This was like half a cart in the grocery store, but my wife helps me break stuff down, get it out of boxes, sort it into individual meals, and check it out. This is how I pack it. There you go, 1 bag, lunch for 5 guys. See how compact that is? Plus, not a lot of waste. That box, we can actually kind of use that to get our fire going if we need to. We've got crackers, look at that. We've got meat, gorp, even a little bit of dessert. Do a little bit of planning. Pack, get your stuff compact, and winter camping can be a lot of fun. Coming up next, a Minnesota-bound classic helps you jump right into winter.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Radco Truck Accessories, Connecticut, Running Aces Casino, and by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
Today's Minnesota Bound Classic takes us back 13 years to a very cold and snowy Lake Minnetonka. It's the perfect place to go fly a kite. Dull, white Minnesota winters, suddenly full of color.
Yeah, it's incredible.
When the wind blows, local lakes fill with nylon wind machines.
It's freedom and adrenaline. Any day that there's a little wind, and especially if there's sun like this, oh man, that's just beautiful. It's breezy.
Now, snow kites are fairly new to Minnesota.
That's so fun. I love it.
A few years ago, locals noticed riders on Oregon's Columbia River using kites. They thought, hey, why not here on snow?
I had kind of been a shut-in the winter, just waiting for spring. And then once we got this going, it's just like now everybody can't wait for winter.
It's very similar to sailing or windsurfing, except that your power mechanism is running right by is just a little bit farther away.
That power mechanism is a steerable kite, efficient designs which grab the wind.
This acceleration is like so fast, and basically you can feel the wind coming into the kite, and you brace your knees to kind of brace yourself for it, and you just take off.
Ah!
This is so cool. I mean, just to be out in the wind riding, it's incredible. And all the colors in the sky, and everybody's just boosting big and having fun.
It's just really neat because it's got a lot of control, and for guys like my age and everything, you want to be able to do it safely and not get hurt and everything.
If running along the snow at 30 miles an hour is not fun enough, how about adding a little something else to the mix? Air. Lots of it. Hit it!
It's pretty amazing, especially in powder. It's not totally silent, but it's just this nice, consistent whoosh. And really where it becomes silent is when you jump. As soon as you go into the air, it's like everything goes into slow motion and there's no noise at all until you touch back down.
When you soar through the air, it's sort of as close to flying as you're gonna get.
Nice! Yeah, and burn it back.
Granted, this sport depends on wind, but even a light breeze will do.
10 knots, 12 knots, 15, anywhere in there is great, up to 20.
Every day the wind's a little bit different. You know, it just has a character.
But you never know, and like on a day like today, when it's gusty like this, you don't know what's gonna happen. Could be anything.
Trouble. As soon as you have that kite in your hand, the power, everybody's just, you're hooked.
It's that same exhilaration a child experiences the first time their kite takes to the sky.
That's where it all started, was the Mickey Mouse kite flying above me. And then gradually went to 2-line kites, and now we're using 4-line kites that changes the amount of power that you can have in the kite.
I'm 40 years old, just turned 40, and it's sort of like my second childhood, you know? Almost any day is like a little bit different. But as long as you can fly the kites, you can always move around in it.
While windy days are never a sure bet, one thing's for certain. Each spring, our snow melts, and snow kiters start thinking about next year.
This sport makes the winter so short. It's just unbelievable.
You can't describe it. You have to do it.
I've tried that, and it always shocks me on how powerful those kites really are.
I think I'll stick to skiing down hills.
Me too.
Well, that about does it for us. We'll see you back here next week.
In the meantime, don't forget to introduce a kid to the great outdoors. Try kite skiing. Lift your arms up this way.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. To get more Minnesota Bound, including full episodes, go to mnbound.com. And to follow our latest adventures, like us on Facebook.